two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. With Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. With your boy Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our WWE edition. We are excited for you to join us. If you're joining us and watching us, like and comment, please follow. What's wrong with you?
Yes,
if you aren't already, you need to do it. And if you're just listening to us, give us those damn 5-star reviews because it helps with our algorithm. Right?
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
We're going to start and end it with that.
Give us some
love. Yeah, give us some damn love. But anyway, this is WWE. We got a lot of stuff to talk about because we're talking about Smackdown, Raw, NXT, and we have quite a few news, Ryan, don't we? So get into it. Let's do some dudes. Read the news. Let's hear it.
So there's 3 bits of big news coming out of the WWE this week. We'll start with the saddest news first, and we'll kind of work our way to some other stuff. But I think it was yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Today is Friday, so I think this was on Thursday. But we got news that Bob Uecker, WWE Hall of Famer Bob Uecker, passed away at the age of 90. And, you may know Bob Uecker as former Major League Baseball sportscaster. He's a Hall of Fame commentator. He earned the name Mr. Baseball. He was, a longtime voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for a long time. He was also in the two movies, Major League and Major League 2, as Harry Doyle, the commentator there, and famous for lines such as "just a bit outside," "ball 4, ball 8," and "Ricky Bond got the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches." Just like such great stuff. That's how I personally will remember him, as the legendary Harry Doyle. One hit, one goddamn hit, just like things that you can never say in the broadcasting business. He said it in those movies. But what does this have to do with wrestling? Well, he is a WWE Hall of Famer. He is known for his memorable appearances at WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania 4. He was choked by Andre the Giant in that interview. I remember. In that one segment. And he was like a guest ring announcer between the epic battle between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. And then WrestleMania 4, it's one of the most famous images of the WWE in the 90s is him being choked by Andre the Giant. So he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I think he had some other run-ins as well, but those are the 2 big ones for him. So rest in power, Bob Uecker, age of 90, 1934 to 2025. Extend our condolences to your family and friends.
Well said. Well said. Everything you said, that's what I would have said. So yeah, RIP, man. And definitely to the family and friends and anybody else who knew him and is feeling the pain of his loss. 90 years is a good time though. It's a good long life, but it's always sad to see people go. So yeah, great dude.
Absolutely. And funny guy.
Yes.
And then the other news is, this is the question prompting the internet right now. That's, for whatever reason, this has taken over the entire wrestling industry. But is this a work or is this a shoot? But apparently Corey Graves voiced his displeasure and his unhappiness on social media earlier this week. And people are saying that this was his attempt to try to get fired by the company. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to this, but as we all know, Corey Graves was on Friday Night Smackdown. He's moved from show to show to show. He was most recently on Friday Night Smackdown, and he was the lead commentator with Wade Barrett for a long time on SmackDown. And then him and Michael Cole were doing it when SmackDown moved back to the USA Network, while Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett were doing Monday Night Raw. And then most recently, they brought Pat McAfee back to the WWE for Raw on Netflix. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett moved to SmackDown, and Corey Graves was, I guess, demoted, air quotes around demoted, to NXT with Booker T and Vic Joseph. So that led Corey Graves to tweet on Monday, January 13th, and I quote, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job, just in case you've wondered where I've been." So he tweeted that. And then the next tweet was, "I'll have a lot more to say on NXT," which this was on, these tweets went out Monday night, early Tuesday morning. So all waiting for Tuesday morning to get here, Tuesday night. And he was pulled from the NXT commentary team on this past episode. So he was not on NXT television. So we don't know if this is a work or a shoot. And I guess we'll find out on Monday Night Raw on January the 20th, because Pat McAfee is not going to be on Monday Night Raw because he's got prior obligations with the college football national championship. So Corey Graves comes out and promo, or he does something and he's the commentary. He's on commentary with Michael Cove on the Raw on Netflix. Maybe this is all a big leading to a match, either a Rumble or a WrestleMania between McAfee and Graves. Or if Byron Saxton is doing commentary, maybe there is some legitimacy to this. So I think we'll know about this more on Monday.
The funny thing about it all is that either way, he's not wrong. Like I didn't see anything he wrote that was offensive. I mean, 100%, the dude has worked hard, and I know that he always gets kind of grief as being everyone's least favorite commentator, minus this Joe guy. Yeah. He's flipping phenomenal, and I don't blame him for being upset getting replaced by Pat McAfee. The only thing he said wrong was that he said he was being replaced by somebody more. I mean, Pat McAfee ain't famous. Who knows who Pat McAfee is? He's known for being Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Sure, he's us. He's us with more followers. Once again, with more viewers. He's no different. It's that he used to be a punter. No one knew who the hell he was.
No,
at all. Yeah. He's known for being a random dude on WWE and having a podcast. His podcast fucking sucks too. No offense. It's trash. Everyone, a part of his team is trash. All they do is yell and spew misinformation, and they have Aaron Rodgers on their show. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
So everything about it is stupid. People rag on First Take and this and that, and I'm like, dude, I will watch First Take any day of the year over. Pat McAfee's show is trash. But with that said, it is, I mean, I don't know, work or not. I'm assuming with him saying he's going to be on NXT and not being there, and then being on, now all of a sudden Pat McAfee's not on Monday, and he's probably going to, if he replaces him, then all this is a freaking job. Yeah. That's just how it is. Do you
have any interest in Pat McAfee versus Corey Graves? Because I do not personally, but I know the internet is. I'm excited to see Corey Graves get medically cleared if that's what he wants to do and get back into the ring. I'm all for it. I just don't want to see him versus Pat McAfee. I'd rather see him versus Wade Barrett, but that's just me.
Yeah, and that could happen too along the way. I want to see Corey back in the ring. Yeah, I think that would be fantastic, even though I think he's a phenomenal announcer, but I'm sure he wants to be in the ring. The dude is still pretty young, and then or young enough. And Pat McAfee, I don't care. I once again don't think, I think, Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, all of them are better than Pat McAfee in the ring. I'm not, once again, I know I'm sounding like a hater, and maybe I am. I'm just not impressed with Pat McAfee. So, but we'll see. But at least it has us intrigued. So either way, whether he's trying to lose his job or he's pushing a story, it's got people talking, and that's why he did it.
Yeah.
So.
But me personally, I don't think he's trying to lose. I mean, he does so much outside of just commentary for WWE. He's doing the WWE podcast. He does all these interviews. He does stuff on the network and stuff so I think he's got a beautiful smoking hot wife who is pretty well known in the WWE, and Carmella, whenever she's healthy and she comes back. So I don't know. And where's he gonna go? Is he gonna go to AEW? Is that what everyone's thinking? So who knows?
Why would he go to AEW?
He can go feud with Excalibur. I mean, go rag on Tony Schiavone. Go after no.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. You got one more?
Yeah. The big news of the week is something that came out on Thursday, but it's WWE and TNA Wrestling have struck a multi-year partnership that will see TNA pro wrestlers regularly appearing on NXT programming and vice versa. So as we all know, they kind of had this partnership last year in 2024. Joe Hendry was constantly on NXT TV. Jordan Grace was on NXT television. She had a women's championship match. Joe Hendry had an NXT championship match. But now this partnership is going to continue. We saw several NXT wrestlers, Charlie Dempsey, Riley Osborne, and Wes Lee, appear on TNA television. And the statement released from Shawn Michaels was, "We look forward to growing and evolving our partnership with TNA Wrestling and its outstanding group of athletes by creating new opportunities to further the development of our talent and to elevate the viewer experience at home." So that was from Shawn Michaels in this partnership. So I think it's a great thing for TNA. I think it's a great thing for WWE. I'm excited for it, and I think we need more of this in pro wrestling. We don't all need to be against each other. We need more partnerships and collaborations. And give me an NXT TNA invasion angle, please.
This is beautiful, and this just shows us that the Vince McMahon era is dead.
This would have never flown.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I mean, it really, really is. And how smart of the WWE, right? Like, now they can use people like the Hardys and Dolph Ziggler and or Nick Nemeth and other people without having to pay their salary. Pure genius. I mean,
I wonder
more
if Nick Nemeth shows up
so,
on TV.
100%.
Is he Dolph Ziggler or is he Nick Nemeth? You know, like
no, he's Nick Nemeth. No, he's Nick Nemeth. Yeah, and the Hardys will be there. They're all going to 100. The Hardys basically confirmed on Homeboy's show, the Chris Van Fleet, that they were going to be on. So, I mean, Chris Van Fleet, there's someone who's great, but like, it's just
former
good stuff.
AEW interviewer too.
He's just phenomenal. He's a good dude. He doesn't spread lies and rumors and doesn't have dumb people on his show. He keeps it real. He's great. He's great at what he does. Great for pro wrestling. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be great. I just think it works for both. Like I said, WWE can use people without having to pay them. TNA gets the good rub of having NXT and other people on their shows to push their products and people put eyeballs on it. I told you, I texted you, I said, in a year, AEW is going to be TNA. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I'm just saying.
No, I get
AEW,
it. Yeah.
It's not going to die. It's not going. It's going to be TNA. That's just where we're at now. So, and we'll see where TNA is in a year or two.
Yeah. So this is, I think it's good. I hope it's not a one-sided partnership. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, is that everyone's going to show up on NXT, but no one's going to show up on TNA. I mean, yeah, they had Wes Lee on there, but I want to see Trick Williams on TNA television, and I want to be able to find. I hope this leads to a TV deal for TNA on a network besides Access TV. I don't get access to Access, so so I hope this leads to something else, some bigger stuff for TNA. Maybe they get them on Peacock, or they get them on the network on Netflix International or something. I don't know. They stream them as well, but I hope this leads to big things for TNA, and I think it will.
For sure. This is a beautiful thing. And now since they've officially made it, like it's like a yearly, whatever, they signed a certain amount of time and all that. Multi-year, this is real. And I think it's going to be good stuff. All right. I think it starts at their pay-per-view this Sunday too. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk some Smackdown, baby. Or as I like to call it, Smackdown. And before we get into it, it's a jam-packed Smackdown, but I have to say, 3 hours is too long. I'm over 3 hour shows. Let's be. Not all of us sit at home and do nothing with their lives. Some of us have jobs and kids and have to like do things, and having to watch 6 hours of television compared to 4 is a big difference, whether it's on Max or Netflix. Yeah, go ahead.
People were not to jump ahead to Monday Night Raw, but people were mad that Monday Night Raw was 2.5 hours long. People were like, well, last week was 3 hours. This week was 2.5. What's going on? Like, they don't have a start stop time anymore on Netflix. But you're right. Yeah. 3 hours is too long for SmackDown.
100%. Those same people, by the way, because I know you're talking about, are the same ones who complained when it was 2, when it was 3. They would have complained when it's 3 hours and 10 minutes. They would have complained at anything. They're going to bring up stuff from 1940s to complain about. That's what people. The Wrestle Talk community is a freaking.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It is. It's pretty depressing with these people who are on here. People that I thought were normal. All right, let's get into some Smackdown. And I know you want to talk about a little busy Smackdowner, probably the MVP right now on SmackDown, and that's one Kevin Owens. What'd you think about him on SmackDown? Yeah. I know you did. You're rocking it hard.
I loved it, man. I loved everything Kevin Owens brought to the table on SmackDown. And again, I like that he's doing his thing where he's coming through the crowd. You never know where he is. The WWE cinematography is perfect because the camera's panning on to Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes. and then you hear Kevin Owens, or I'm Paul Heyman rather, and Cody Rhodes, and the camera's panning around looking for Kevin Owens when he starts talking. But everything he's doing is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing that he's doing that's wrong. And I love his shirt that says Kevin is right. I'm gonna have to buy that shirt, I think, but because he is right. And then his point about Cody Rhodes teaming up with Roman Reigns is completely valid. Or why did he help Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns now is in the Royal Rumble. He's coming back to take your title, and you're freaking helping him on Monday Night Raw. And then you're chumming it up with The Rock, like as if you can't make things any worse. And then Cody Rhodes, instead of responding, he has to go attack him because he knows Kevin Owens is 100% correct. And I think it's beautiful. I love what they're doing with KO. And we talk about the heels right now in WWE, but Drew McIntyre is correct in his beef. Seth Rollins has legitimate reasons to be upset, and so does Kevin Owens. And I'm all for this turn with KO. They've done it beautifully.
They have it. I mean, he was even chumming it up with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman comes out and cuts a huge promo, and then all of a sudden they're kissing.
Earn the Tribal Chiefs, Tribal Chiefs respect.
Yeah. So stupid. I made a whole TikTok about it, about how Kevin Owens is right and how Cody Rhodes is wrong, and you guys should be booing them. And I had some people straight, because some people think it's real, and some people just really, really like them some Cody Rhodes. But I had some people in their feelings in my comments like, "What are you talking about? Cody Rhodes is a rah!" So at least I know Cody does win. So I thought it was just the kids like John Cena, but he got some adults twisted up too. You know what I mean? So but yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Kevin Owens is I said before is that he's doing what Drew McIntyre was doing, but he's doing it now. I'm not going to say he's doing it better, but he's doing it in the now and mixing it with a Drew, and we'll get into Raw or maybe even with a Seth, but it's just building up so nicely. And I just love seeing him at the beginning come out at the end of the match and just being involved everywhere. And the fact that he stayed true to himself. When he was against the Bloodline, he was getting cheered when he was against the Bloodline. Now, since the Bloodline are good guys, he's still doing exactly what he's doing, and now he's getting booed. That's the beautiful art of wrestling, but also how dumb and fickle fans are, and that fans they'll turn on you because they're being told to turn on you. It's the whole reason why TikTok is getting banned, ladies and gentlemen, because it warps your fragile little mind, just like in South Park with Blame Canada, Control. Right? Like, yeah. What did you just say? What? Like, yeah, you got to blame somebody, right? We always got to blame somebody in this country. So right now we got to blame Kevin Owens because Cody and Roman are good guys. And that's what I love. And with that, they were kind of intertwined with something tonight as well. And that was if you can't see, I'm about to do air quotes, bloodline. So Jacob Fatu cut a fire promo, backstage. Every time he talks, he just does it, man. That dude is amazing in every aspect of it. And he comes out and they get involved in almost everything. I mean, they beat down on LA Knight twice, and then that leads to their match against Cody and Jimmy, and then they beat and pinned Jimmy and beat Cody and Jimmy with Kevin Owens coming out and helping. So Solo nowhere to be seen. Supposedly he's coming back this Friday or tonight. What do you think? Are they still a bloodline? Did you like this? Can they still be a bloodline if there is no Solo Sikoa tribal chief? Do you need to be a bloodline to be a tribal chief? What say you? Or is Kevin Owens going to join? Is that what they're doing? Is it going to be the 6 of them all together? They're all going against the blood. Like what's happening?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't really know. And I don't know how I feel about the bloodline right now because, if Jacob Fatu was fantastic and Tama Tonga was doing his thing, but they just don't feel the same without Solo there. They don't feel as impactful without Roman in front of them either. With no Roman, it just felt like another tag team. I was happy they got the win. I think it was the right call, giving them the win and letting Jacob pin Jimmy Uso was the right decision. Jacob Fatu's a star and he's a stud. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what this I'm curious to see what happens with Solo Sikoa when he returns because he said before, like if he ever lost the Ula Fala, they would have to acknowledge Roman Reigns. But if Roman's not going to be there, which all indications are pointing to that he's not coming back until the 27th of January, they announce he's on the cover of 2K. So who knows? Like, what can he do? And I mean, in feuding with LA Knight right now just feels, I don't know, that just doesn't feel important. And now Cody Rhodes is back intertwined with the bloodline, which that doesn't feel. I don't know what they're doing with the bloodline. So
Yeah.
I really hope they get it together and figure something out. I like your idea of the 6 of them being together: Cody or Kevin Owens,
Yeah, why not?
Seth Rollins, and Drew with Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob. Man, that would be an unstoppable group.
But here's the thing. They never once called them the bloodline.
No, we did.
Do you remember when they came out? It said Tama, it said Jacob Fatu. It never said like the bloodline.
Yeah.
It didn't say Solo's coming to address the blood. They didn't say the bloodline, which makes me think they can't just still be together and not be the bloodline, which makes me think maybe. Now, I'm not saying this is a prediction and this is what I think. I'm just saying it would make sense. Yeah, it's a spoiler. It makes sense that they would put them with other people so that way they can still be together without having to be the bloodline. Because with Roman winning, I'm pretty sure the bloodline is done forever, I think. And it looks like they've moved on with that Cody and Roman or Cody and the Rock. It looks like they're done with it. So I think we're getting all new things this year. I have, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but I like Chelsea Green defeated Mitchin. And I have to say, not only is Chelsea Green super over, right? And she just has everything you want, right? She has great ring ability. She's not afraid to get down and dirty. She's gorgeous. She has a good look, meaning the way she presents herself. It's like Seth Rollins, except not ugly, right? And I don't mean appearance-wise. I mean Seth Rollins just dresses in stupid clothes. And like she has like over-the-top clothes, you know what I mean? She was dressed up like the Statue of Liberty and so on, and she wrestles in it. It's great stuff. But what I liked about this match with her and Mitchin was that she won, and she won by the tightrope. So she had to cheat to win, and then afterwards, she had her muscle beat the bananas out of Mitchin after the match. And this is exactly how, in my opinion, Chelsea Green needs to be booked. She needs to be booked like Shawn Michaels and Diesel. She needs to be booked like the Honky Tonk Man, a chicken shit heel who can't beat anybody, but is going to continue to win and have her match and then have her muscle back her up. I mean, she even thanked herself, and her muscle was like, all right, well, that's Chelsea. Like, it wasn't like a, hey, Ayada. It was like, that's who I'm. That's my girl. She worried about herself. It's perfect. And I know it was Mitchin. Now we can move on, and props to Mitchin for being in a match. But I think this is the way it needs to go, and I don't want them to change it. I don't want her to start losing non-title. I think she needs to continue to defend her title, cheat somehow every single time to win, and have Piper Niven back her up and beat people up. She's the muscle. And eventually, guess what that will lead to? In a year or 8 months, then someone will get sick of it and then turn, and now we have that feud and that money, and you can build Piper. It's so easy. 1 + 1 = 2. You know?
Yeah. And Tony Khan, if you're listening, that's how you do it. You had Mercedes Moné and Camille, and you had them turn on each other within like 2 weeks of each other. And Camille looked like an absolute joke in that whole build. This is everything you said is completely true. That this is how you build it. This is how you build a future feud. This is how you build your current feud. And the way they're booking her right now is phenomenal. I love everything they're doing with Chelsea Green. I want her to have a lengthy women's U.S. championship run. Don't let anybody take the belt off of her. Don't bring back Charlotte Flair just to take the belt off of her. That would absolutely destroy everything. I agree. I think Chelsea Green deserves this to have the longest run possible.
Yes, and for all of you that listen to both of our shows, I want you to remember this moment when you watch the AEW edition, because I'm going to come back to this. So just so you guys know about how you book certain things. All right.
Have a feeling I know what you're talking about. So
yes, sir. All right. SmackDown review is done. It was a good episode, though. Like I said, 3 hours is just too long, man. Like I said, I know people, because I wrote that, and people commented like, well, then watch it pre-recorded and just break it apart. Yeah, I get that, and you can do that. That's the luxury of having, DVR and everything. And I do usually watch them pre-recorded because I'm busy Friday nights. But I still, it's just like, even if I watch it straight through, by the time I get to the end, I legit forget that the stuff that happened at the beginning happened.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, like, oh yeah, Cody came out and they beat up.
We were talking before the show, because I watched SmackDown when it aired, and I haven't seen anything about it since. So I was like, what happened on this episode? I can't remember because it's so long ago.
It's true that. But let's get into some Monday Night Raw, which people were complaining about because Triple H, when Monday Night Raw was announced to be on Netflix, stated that there is no time limit. He stated that multiple times. It's either going to be 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever we are booking that week. That's how long it'll be. And yet the Wrestle Talk community bitched and moaned about it anyway because Triple H told you and did what he said he was going to do. But with that said, it was a jam-packed show. Let's start off with, I think, almost had the most buzz out of everything, and that was one Penta debuted in WWE. What'd you think?
I liked it. I thought I don't like his song. I didn't care for his music, but I liked I like that Michael Cole came right out and said it was the worst kept secret in the world of professional wrestling. Because it was like they were selling his merch the morning of. They were selling his mask.
What was the point of that?
I don't get why couldn't they wait? I mean, it was good stuff. The match was good. Chad Gable can bring out the best in anybody, and I think he brought out the best in Penta. The promo afterwards was a little. Did he need a promo? I don't know. Like that was kind of how I felt after watching him on the microphone. It's just like, okay, we get it. You're here. This is the Penta era. This is the Netflix era. He didn't really say anything that we didn't know already, and that he's going to be the best luchador in WWE. So I'm excited about it. I mean, the match was good, had a lot of buzz, and I think WWE is definitely they're already using him better than AEW used him, and it took one match and in front of a big crowd in San Jose, California. And the crowd cheered, unlike when the Motor City Machine Guns came out or when other AEW people had made the move over to WWE. The crowd knew who Penta was. They were ecstatic about him, and they were loud. And I think that's going to help Penta. And I think from everything I've read, the reports are saying that everything was very well received backstage, and they're happy with his debut. So Penta's got a bright future, but it took one match and one appearance in WWE for him to be used better than his entire AEW run. And that says everything you need to know
about AEW. And here's the thing. People can say, well, he wrestled all the time in AEW. Okay, that doesn't matter. Giving people pointless matches all the time doesn't make you a star. Penta, the videos before, putting out the merch beforehand, got people talking. People, I guarantee you that crowd did not know who Penta was. Let's not get it twisted. Not everybody is a underground New Japan, Mexico, AEW, AAA, whatever wrestling fan. WWE fans are usually just WWE fans for the most part, not all. So then you had that music hit. You had his vibe coming out, doing his thing. He looked good. He did his little Penta thing, and he was vibing, got in the ring. And even though I'm 100% against him beating Chad Gable, because that's a whole nother story to talk about what the hell we're doing, how you're giving him the Judgment Day vibe where he cuts promos all the time about how great and strong he is, but then in the ring he loses every time. Once again, wrestling, losing doesn't matter. You can't just be that guy. We're building our crew up. We're BA. Oh, look at us. We're I lost again. Cool. But in that sense, I mean, who better than Chad Gable to get Penta over? And he did that. And even in this match, when you think about it too differently, it wasn't AEW. Goes too fast and they try too much with the flippity dippities. He did a WWE version of Penta. It wasn't slow. It wasn't as choreographed. It wasn't as 1, 2, 3, flip, 1, 2, flip, 1, 2. No, it just happened. The match happened. And that's how luchador and that's how high flying wrestling should be. And AEW hardcore fans have got stuck in this mentality that no, you got to flip 75 times in a minute. No, because it looks stupid. He just looked better. Like you said, the announcers, I mean, how many times did Michael Cole say, if there wasn't Rey Mysterio, Penta's the best luchador ever in professional wrestling? That is how you book somebody. And even though AEW announcers are phenomenal, I like AEW announcers a lot. They don't do that. And I don't know if that's their fault or Tony's fault. They just made Penta a star. And I think the reason why he got a mic was because you can't hear Michael Cole praising him. So you give him a mic.
Sure. Yeah.
And in WWE, I'm sorry that we have always said that if you ain't from America, you're going to get booked weirdly because they're going to make you talk because you have to cut some kind of promo. But I actually thought he did really, really well. And I was surprised by how great his English was. He did fantastic and he dropped a good pro. And I think that got him over even more. Like I said, I'm not the hugest Penta fan. I can really care less, but this made me like him. I thought everything about it was executed perfectly, and it makes me now like, okay, what are we going to do with this dude, right? So.
And to your point about the commentary too, Michael Cole saying, if it's not Rey Mysterio, it's Penta as that could set up a WrestleMania match right there. Just that comment alone between Rey Mysterio and Penta for who's the best luchador out there. It's just you're able to build
Penta
something.
And Daddy Dom.
Yeah,
fighting for Rey's honor. Yeah,
yeah, because it looks like Dom might be going babyface, so who knows? But
yeah, he might, huh?
So I mean, but just those comments alone from the commentary team can pique your interest and get you excited about the future of somebody on the roster. So I think we have that to look forward to, and that's how you build a star, like you said.
100%. And speaking of building a star and you being happy, I think you want to talk about a little Finn Balor, don't you? So let's hear it, because I feel like you're not going to have the same energy. You didn't tell me beforehand, but let's run with it. What did you think about Finn Balor?
I think we need to have a moment of silence for Finn Balor's career because I think he's done. I think he is cooked. I had high hopes and expectations for Finn Balor under the Triple H regime that, okay, he'll be booked a hell of a lot better. He should have won the World Heavyweight title maybe 6 or 7 times when Seth Rollins had it. And then he should have won it several times when Damian Priest had it. And, but no, like every time, man, he loses. He loses all the big matches. And not only does he lose, but he takes pinfalls. 6-man tags, he's the one taking the pinfall. Tag team matches, he's the one taking the pinfall. This street fight with Damian Priest, I mean, obviously it was him versus Priest one-on-one, but he took the pinfall. And it's just like, you talk about, I don't want to say he's buried, but because he's getting on TV, he's getting regular opportunities on television. But this is just, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think he's done. I don't think, my expectations of Finn Balor have not been met, and Triple H has not exceeded those expectations. And I don't know if he has blackmail on Triple H backstage or something, or he made a pass at Stephanie McMahon, or he flirted with her one day or something. And I don't know. I just feel like something's going on that has Triple H pissed off at Finn Balor. But I had high hopes. I mean, Vince McMahon, I'll say this, Vince McMahon booked Finn Balor better than Triple H has booked him. And Vince McMahon made him the first ever Universal Champion. And yeah, he dropped it after holding him for 24 hours. But Triple H never would give him the opportunity to do that.
This guy has had 3 straight matches with Damian Priest and lost them all. That doesn't even make sense. If you lose 1, 2, you don't keep getting matches. I don't know if he's buried. Maybe you can say he's buried as a star. But unless they're going to,
the guy who puts over all the other talent now.
And I don't. It was weird too, because Judgment Day for the first time in 3 months didn't bicker. They were legit all on the same page. Even Liv was like, "It's all right, Dom. We're good. Like, just put away my like." Everybody was like, yeah. He was like,
"He's not bad."
I love Daddy Dom, but they were like all just like hokey dory. Even Finn was like, "All right, Dom," and they're like, "Yeah, get him, Finn." There was no like, "Oh, Finn, are you gonna win?" Like, completely cool. I was like, "All right, cool." Judgment Day is like, we're over this shit. And then he goes and I forgot who it was last week that I talked about that it made them look bad by the way they lost. I forgot who it was, but that's how I feel about this. They legit.
Drew, maybe.
I forget who it was. No, but like he like. No, it was on the Netflix. Solo Sikoa.
Oh, yeah.
He had all the help in the world, had everybody and their mom came out to beat up Roman, and then he still lost. How does that make him look strong? Same thing with Finn. Everybody came out, beat up. Priest was put in 3 finishers, 3 in a row. 3 people hit them with the finisher, and he kicked out at 2. It wasn't like Finn took a while to lay on him. Straight 3 finishers kicked out. I don't know what the hell they're doing with. I'm assuming Judgment Day is done now, and then Finn's gonna disappear and be repackaged. But either way, man, yeah, it's
sad.
Weird stuff. I don't get it.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. Because I love Finn Balor, and I think he has a lot to bring to the table. I think he has a lot. He can be a star. He's got a great look. He's got a great body.
Yes.
And the way he's being booked, man, it's atrocious. And I feel horrible for him.
And his body looks better now more than ever. The dude is that dude has not ate a piece of bread in 12 years. That dude is perfect.
It makes me wonder, like, is Triple H just doing all this? Like he makes people all these I don't know. Like Chad Gable re-signed with WWE recently, and he can't win a match on television. Finn Balor re-signed with WWE recently, and he can't win a match. So it makes me wonder, like, is he doing all this to prove a point? Like, you know, you were testing the waters, you want to leave, you want to, okay, well, I'm going to bring you over, but you're going to lose every match you're in. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's got to be something that they couldn't have agreed to this. But
I think they usually like to hook them, and then they go like, I signed you for 4 years. So the first couple of years, let's push some people, and then the back end, then you get your chances at title matches. I don't know if that's what they're doing. I always feel like they get booked better towards the end of their contract, so that way they can re-sign, and then they're like, "Oh, you're in." So now we
that's what I'm wondering if they're doing
at
that
the end, and then But Finn isn't that person. Finn's a star, and he's been a star, and he's getting old. Speaking of two young stars, we had the first ever IC champion, Dakota Kai versus Valkyria, and Lyra won. What do you think? Happy? Results?
I'm indifferent. I wanted Dakota Kai to win, and I think Dakota Kai should have won, and I think she would have been a better choice for the first Intercontinental Champion in WWE, female Intercontinental Champion. But I don't have a problem with Lyra winning. I think it was. I mean, it is what it is. I think they see things in her because she was the finalist for the Queen of the Ring tournament as well against Nia Jax. So I think, and she was a big star in NXT as well. So I think they clearly see something in Lyra. So I'm excited for her. I just wish that I think there's more stories that you could tell with Dakota Kai, the damage control angle. Does Io Sky get upset? What happens do they kick her out? Do her and Bayley reunite to take on? Like, there's all kinds of stories that you can tell. So from a storytelling aspect, I would have preferred Dakota Kai, but I'm happy with Lyra winning.
Yeah, my thing is that we wanted the first ever IC champion to be an up-and-comer, right? And even though Dakota Kai per se is not an up-and-comer, she is. And I think Lyra, I get that Lyra right now is the hot thing, and you know, her and Becky Lynch, and they're both, you know, partners or whatever. And so let's give Lyra, and here's the thing. They both have great looks. They both are amazing in the ring. They both cut about decent amount of promos and this and that. But in my opinion, Dakota Kai's been doing it a little bit longer. And I think it would have been better to give her that rub than Lyra, like they did with Chelsea Green. Like Chelsea Green has been around the block, but honestly, she is an up-and-comer because she's never had that opportunity. Same thing with Dakota Kai. And Dakota Kai right now, I think it's the hottest she's ever been, man. The crowd was into her. I feel like she's like vibing like she was in NXT, and to not give it to her, I think kind of hurts. And what I'm afraid of is that this reminds me of when they decided not to go with Sol Ruka being the first ever women's North American. And after that, she has basically done nothing.
Yeah,
and that's what I fear with Dakota Kai now. So nothing against Lyra, because I think she'll be great. I just think Dakota Kai should have got the rub, not Lyra, in this particular moment. Yeah, great match, though. Dude, that flip off the apron onto the floor.
Oh, it's fantastic, man.
Weasels, Dakota Kai to take that. Ouch. Ouch.
And I'll say this, too. I think that match should have main evented the show instead of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I think we should have closed the show with the Intercontinental Championship match. It's the first ever one.
Yeah, and especially since Damian Priest just winning again. What do you do, Basil? Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo, Basil. All right, last thing, we got to go quick. Gunther, Jey Uso. The internet has exploded with anger. They yeet for Jey Uso, and then as soon as Jey Uso gets a title shot, they yeet all over it. What do you think? Are you upset by it? Does it make sense? It's a Saturday night's main event. People are acting like this is WrestleMania night one. I don't understand it, but what say you?
I'm one of those people. I don't like it. And the reason why I don't like it is because they announced that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. And like I guess you can be the world heavyweight champion and be in the Rumble. It's possible. I mean, but crazier things have happened. But at the end of the day, man, like, you're telling me who's going to win this match without telling me who's going to win this match. And that's what I don't like about it, is that you're already telling me that Gunther's going to retain at Saturday Night Main Event. So I don't need to really tune in and watch because we know Jey Uso is going to be one of the 30 men in the Royal Rumble. They've announced it not just this past week, but they announced it last week and this week. And, you know, every time they talk about the Rumble, they talk about Jey and Roman and Drew and LA Knight and CM Punk and John Cena all being members of the Royal Rumble so far. It's going to be a stacked Rumble, and it's going to be fun. But Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about it, is that you've already booked him for the Royal Rumble, so why are you putting him in a title match? And it's just telling me right there that he's going to lose. And again, I don't know if Jey Uso can take another loss in the title picture.
I mean, he's taken a loss, but here's the thing, right? Here's why I'm not against it. Number one, yeah, sure, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, but nobody thinks Jey Uso is going to win. So
True.
This will be the most stacked men's Royal Rumble ever, because there are legit 5 to 8 people who, if they won, you wouldn't be shocked. And that goes from Drew to CM Punk to John Cena to Roman. Like, how does Roman Reigns lose? I don't even see that as a possibility, but he's probably going to. So it's like you have all these people like, wow, that's stacked. So you can't have any of these people wrestle Gunther at the moment, just because they are trying to. They actually have a chance of winning at that moment. So why not put Jey Uso? Here's the thing. Saturday night's main event. It's already been done once. It's about to happen again. They need the ratings. Who's the most over wrestler right now minus CM Punk? Jey Uso. So even though you and I understand it, who's going to win? We're already tuning in. They want to get all those kids and girls and people who like to yeet and this and that to tune in, because they don't know. So they're going to watch it. It's going to help Gunther push the ratings, get it going. Yeah. And Jey loses again. Who cares? You're still going to yeet in your pants every time he comes out. So it is what it is.
I also don't like that they're doing this Saturday night main event the week before the Royal Rumble. I think that's it. Seems a little, I don't know. It's a little too much. And that tells me that Gunther is not going to have a world title match at the Rumble. And if Braun Breaker defends his Intercontinental Championship match, which I think he is. I think they announced that against Sheamus at that Saturday night main event. That means he's not defending his title against, and none of them may be in the Rumble either. So that's what I don't like about it. Like like right now, all we have is Cody and KO and the 2 Rumbles matches. So what else do we have? Pat McAfee and Corey Graves maybe in Indianapolis. But that feels too soon. So I don't know. I just stop doing these shows so close to each other.
Yeah. Well said. All right, let's get into some NXT. You ready? We got 2 things we want to talk about in NXT. Let's start off with the first thing. We'll go from the opening, then we'll go to the end. So the opening, we had a whole lot of stuff go on. We had Obafemi. We had Tony D'Angelo. We had Ridge Holland in a picture of himself as Santa. Maybe you can explain that to me. And Eddie Thorpe. What'd you think about this opening? Because we didn't have Trick Williams. So what'd you think? Hot opening? You like the future? Good debut for Obafemi, or no? What'd you think about this opening?
I liked it. I didn't like all the Eddie Thorpe stuff. I wish that Obafemi would have had the moment to himself. Let him come out, cut that promo. Everything he said was perfect. Everything he said was spot on. I was today years old when I learned that Obafemi, that's not Obafemi's real voice. His real voice is when he broke into the American accent, and he's playing the role. And where he was like, none of the fans thought I could do it, and they were like, "You can do it!" Like he changed into his American accent. That's his real voice, and I learned that pretty recently. And so kudos to him for his acting job. I mean, he had me convinced, but I thought he should have had that moment to himself. He just pinned Trick Williams last week and won the NXT Championship. That moment got overshadowed by The Rock. They didn't even close the show, and so he should have had that. He should have opened the show by himself. We didn't need Ridge Holland or Eddie Thorpe. I get you want to set the stage for the next thing that you're doing, but I feel like he should have had that moment to himself. So other than that, I did like what he had to say, but I could have done without Eddie Thorpe and Ridge Holland and all the other shenanigans that would.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I did pop when I saw Tony D come out, because I don't know
why. Tony D was good too. Yeah.
I get excited over champion versus intercontinental champion, and this is like that, right? Like the main champion against the main secondary champion. I always get pumped. I'm a warrior.
And he has the edge. He's beaten him twice.
Yeah, the only one has beaten him. Yeah. And so I liked all of it, and I liked the little thing. Him and Ridge Holland should be fun. I don't mind Eddie Thorpe. You got to have Obafemi just whoop on somebody right off the bat. Who else is really in there, because they just threw Eddie Thorpe in it. It's a good little first person to wrestle. I didn't know what's up with Eddie Thorpe's promo later on, where you couldn't even see his face. And is he a wolf? Is that what he was saying? Because he's Native American. Yeah. That makes him a wolf. I thought that was a little racist, but nonetheless, he was out there, and he's like, I got stuff to say. Like, what is it about Tesh? I'm like, I don't care what you have to say. We don't need all air our laundry. Come on, y'all. Like, what in the fuck? It was just a really weird, it was just a really weird thing. I was like, okay. And then he never even came out. So I'm like, so next week we're going to find out about your dirt on Oba. I don't know. But I mean, I thought you had to. It was a pretty jam-packed show. I think they had to get everything going. But I do agree with you that Obafemi's moment should have been more because they didn't give it to him at the end either because, you had to have The Rock come out to tell us he had nothing to say. So,
yeah. So other than that, I liked it. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had Roxanne Perez, the lovely Roxanne Perez, out there talking, and she got interrupted by her childhood hero, Bailey, purple hair and all. And then Roxanne slapped Bailey. What do you think? What's going on here? What are we getting with this? Because I don't think we're getting Bailey NXT. So what say you?
I think this was Roxanne Perez's swan song in NXT. I think that she's either coming to the Rumble and going to eliminate Bailey, and it's going to set up a women's match between the two of them at Mania or Chamber, or because Bailey was on Raw too, calling out going after Rhea Ripley. So, or it's
everybody was on Raw. Yeah.
The Nia Jax was on Raw too. And she was on Smackdown going after Tiffany.
Yes, she was. Yes, everybody was everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, but no, like I think that's what it was. I think this is the final run for Roxanne Perez on NXT, and I think this is going to slowly bring her over to the main roster. And like I said, I think she's going to be the one to eliminate Bailey in the Women's Royal Rumble. Bailey won the thing last year, and Roxanne's going to be the reason she doesn't win it this year, and that's going to set up a feud between the two. But I love this. I think that's the perfect way to bring Roxanne onto the main roster, to showcase her to the people and to the fans that maybe don't watch NXT. And I think this is the right way to do it. I highly anticipate Roxanne Perez being on SmackDown and anywhere Bailey is and tormenting her and setting up something for Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think this was all about Roxanne moving on, and she needs to. She is a huge star. I think she was one or two women wrestlers of 2024. Absolutely. She deserves her flowers. I mean, this girl is just doing it all, and her promos have gotten better and better and better. She was kind of babyface-ish on this one until she slapped Bailey, but yeah, I think she'll be at the Rumble. I think she'll move on, and I think she's done with NXT. She even gave, Julia her flowers. So, I mean, that wasn't like, that didn't seem like somebody who was getting a rematch. And I like that she's not. Just move on. They always like rematch and then lose again and then move on. Like, move on now. So, yeah, I liked it. Roxanne, Bailey, sign me up, please. That would be fire. So,
yeah, absolutely. I loved it.
Yes, sir. All right. WWE Weekend Review, a better week. Netflix was a lot better this week than it was last week. They didn't just do all the stupid stuff, although we still had to get a Daniel Cormier sighting. Like, I care that he's there. But that's what we do now in WWE. But with that said, we are getting into our segment, and we are going to talk about some unpopular opinions. I think you have a song, don't you?
I sure do. Let me get it.
He'll explain it. Our boy will explain it.
Unpopular opinion, trying to get them. They ain't hating, just listen. If you don't agree, man, they get it. They gon' say it with their chest, even if you upset. They can take the heat, none of this get some stress. This is something they been holding in. Two dudes ain't afraid to tell them what it is. And you might even agree. So open up your minds, come and listen to the team.
And you might even agree. You should agree to all of our unpopular opinions because we're 100% right 100% of the time. All right, my man. Unpopular opinions. We're just going to do a couple. You go first. What is your unpopular opinion in WWE right now?
Kevin Owens should beat Cody Rhodes and win the undisputed title at the Royal Rumble. If you're not giving us Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, and you're not giving us Rock versus Roman or Cody versus Roman 3, which I don't think we're getting. I could 100%. What's the point? Like, why does he need to hold the belt all the way to WrestleMania? Kevin Owens should 100% beat Cody Rhodes at Royal Rumble, carry that title to WrestleMania, and that sets up a whole new, storytelling aspect in the WWE. You could have Randy Orton come back and challenge Kevin Owens for the undisputed title at WrestleMania. You could give us Roman Reigns if he wins the Royal Rumble against Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens tried to beat Roman Reigns from becoming the tribal chief. He was the only one that went out there other than the rest of the bloodline. There was no Drew, there was no Seth. It was just KO that did it. So he's got beef with Roman Reigns. You could give us Roman versus KO at WrestleMania, which and KO could get the win this time and go in there as champion. You could give us you could give us Cena versus KO, and KO owns John Cena from the last time that those guys met. Either way, I think Cody. There's no point. What's the point of Cody holding the belt all the way to WrestleMania if you're not giving us Rock versus Roman, which you told us on the Raw after WrestleMania you were giving us Rock versus Roman, and that's pretty much why he was holding on to the title as long as he was. Now that we may or may not be getting that, we don't really know, and by everything we know right now, it looks like we're not getting that. Why not have Kevin Owens beat Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble and let him go into Mania as the undisputed champion? He 100% deserves it. He's the best thing that's going on in WWE right now. Let him have a big moment on the biggest show, and let him give him that main event that he should have gotten years ago. I know he got the main event 2 years ago with Sami Zayn, but in the year before with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he lost that match. People are saying that Sami Zayn and KO shouldn't have main evented. It should have been Rhea and Charlotte. So give him a true main event at WrestleMania and let him hold the championship going into the biggest show of the year. It's not going to happen, but it should happen.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree, and I don't think that should be unpopular at all, but it is. How many times has Cody Rhodes had a feud with somebody where he is the person carrying it? I don't think it's happened once. He's being carried throughout his whole entire championship reign, and this is coming from a Cody Rhodes fan. I appreciate Cody, and I think that's why I criticize him so much, because this just isn't it. And even if you just have Cody win it back at Mania, then so be it. But what other Cody match are you going to have right now that's going to feel big? I'm sorry, him and Orton isn't going to feel big. Him and Cena isn't going to, I mean, who cares? It's just like, at least I'd rather have Cody going in trying to win the belt back than defending it. And I think it would give, once again, Cody that spark. Now, like you said, it's not going to happen. But I don't know, once Cody wins at Rumble, then are we going to get Cody and Drew at Mania? Because it has to keep going, right? Because they're starting this group because they hate Cody. So, but yeah, good take. I don't think it's unpopular at all. In my opinion, I think it should be the popular choice. Yeah. Just like Drew and Cody.
Yeah, it should be, but it's going to be Cody versus Cena, probably.
Yeah, it probably is. We'll see. We'll see. Our Punk versus Gunn. I don't know. All right, my first one. You ready?
Yes, sir.
My unpopular opinion: Rhea Ripley should not have won the Women's World Championship, and I think Monday Night Raw showed that. Here's the thing: what does she need it for? She's already that big star. She can feud with anybody and still be it. I mean, her winning the title set up no one for her to face. And if you don't believe me, ask Nia Jax, who had to come out on her non-show just to give Rhea something to feel, because she has no one to feud with. And then she was confronted by, I think, Bayley, I forget, and Rhea was like an afterthought. She just like stood off to the side until Nia Jax attacked, threw her out of the ring, and then they kind of went at each other. But if you have to give Rhea versus Nia, which is a great match, then obviously Rhea shouldn't have been the champ, because you had to pull that out of your butt. Liv Morgan still had tons of people she could have feuded with, tons of heat from Judgment Day and so on, and I think she needed it because she felt like an afterthought with this, other than accepting Daddy Dump's forgiveness and telling him to go plant his flowers or whatever she said. What did she really do? I just feel like Rhea is a star, and she doesn't need the Charlotte Flair treatment where she needs a championship to be relevant. Rhea is way too damn good and popular. She can be relevant with anything, and I just think it wasn't her time to hold. I just think it's going to be like a championship pointless run, kind of like what Cody's in right now, where it's like, oh, the most over person has the belt just because they're the most over. That's not how it has to be. Time. So but that's my popular opinion, and I love Rhea. I'm praising her by saying this, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I was really disappointed when Rhea Ripley took the belt off of Liv Morgan, just because it felt too soon, and now it feels like the Judgment Day, they're pretty much done. I mean, we said this after the Raw on Netflix, like, what's next for Judgment Day? And then after Finn Balor lost, I think it just solidifies that they have there's no hope for them. I don't know where they go from here, but I mean, we've already seen Rhea versus Nia, so I don't know why they're giving us that again. And
I agree.
They didn't build anybody up. They haven't built anyone up to be a legitimate contender. I know everyone was complaining and wanted this feud between Liv and Rhea to end. I wouldn't have minded it continuing, because there's nobody else. There's literally nobody else, unless you bring Roxanne Perez up and that's her first opponent, which I would have been fine with. But that's not the option they went with. And yeah, I'm just really confused as to where they're going with this women's title. Is this leading to Becky Lynch coming back? Is this leading to Charlotte Flair coming back?
Probably.
I mean, like yay, but still, I mean that's still a long way out between now and Mania. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do at the. I mean, obviously, someone's gonna have to win the Rumble to face her, which okay, cool. But I don't like that they took the belt off of Liv either. I agree.
Yeah. We're 100% getting Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte and Rhea versus Becky Lynch. It's like you might as well just like pencil it in now. That's just what they're gonna do. So you might as well just pencil it in. All right. What's your second unpopular opinion?
All right. I am getting really tired of long championship reigns in the WWE. I don't know how popular of an opinion this is or unpopular, but I'm tired of long championship reigns. And I know we had Roman Reigns had his 4-year reign, and he was phenomenal, and that was a great run. But like I said earlier with Cody Rhodes, there's no point in him holding the title all the way to WrestleMania if you're not giving us Rock versus Cody. So let him drop the belt right now. He doesn't need a year-long championship reign. Gunther just had a year-long Intercontinental Championship reign. If Rhea Ripley hadn't gotten hurt, I don't think Liv Morgan would have ever won the championship. I think she'd still be the champion. That's why they booked her to win it. And there's So we don't need long championship reigns in the WWE. And I know that Triple H, I think to cancel this out, he books the Intercontinental Championship and the World Heavyweight title and the U.S. title as like the titles that everyone can win. But you don't need every single title being a year-long plus reign. You can end the Undisputed Championships reign at a title at a PLE other than WrestleMania. You can end it on a Monday Night Raw. You can end it on a SmackDown. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania or a big four show. I want to see shorter title reigns in 2025. And I know I just said that I want Chelsea Green to have a long championship reign, and I do. I think some people deserve it, but not everybody needs a year-long plus reign.
No, long is long is 7-8 months. I feel like every reign should be 4 to 6 months and no longer than that. Gives you enough time to have it, gives you enough time to defend it. And I feel like Roman has now jinxed it, that it was like, oh, Roman had it forever, so Cody's bigger, right? So we need to have Cody have it longer. Like, no, you don't have Stone Cold never had long title reigns. Like The Rock never had. Shawn Michaels never. Not everybody had long title reigns, but they're still remembered as the all-time greats. You don't need the Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns title reigns for everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's John Cena's longest reign? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have these people with long title reigns. I fully agree with you. Well said. And I think Cody needs to lose. He's really doing nothing right now. And he'll be popular without the belt, just like Rhea. All right. My last one, I know I said it briefly last week, but even after watching this second episode of Raw on Netflix is the same exact show as Raw on USA. I'm sorry to break it to people. Other than advertisings on the ring, like I said, on the apron, this is the same damn show, and I'm pretty disappointed. Like, I don't hate on AEW as much because they're not just exclusively on Max. They're still on TBS and TNT, and people are still watching it like you on that channel and not watching it on Max. But Raw on Netflix, I thought was going to feel like a big deal. And minus the whole, like, the first episode we gave you was a PLE with all the good guys winning. It wasn't like anything. So this just felt like a Raw, a Monday Night Raw. And I know people might get mad at me and say, oh, but yeah, man, this is the digital age and we're going to Netflix. I feel like it just needs to feel a little bit bigger, whether the image is sharper. People have said, oh, it looks better. I don't think so. Maybe your Netflix gets higher resolution than your DirecTV did or whatever, but I don't think it looks any. I think it just shot the same, done the same, looks the same, bookings the same cadence of the show. Like nothing changed at all. And I'm a little disappointed in that because I really was hoping that other than just the fact that I don't have to DVR it anymore to watch it, it really feels. I mean, they cut down commercials a little bit this time, right? I mean, I watched it on delay. Like they did a lot of like skips where they didn't do a commercial. They just kind of faded out and back in. At least my one that I watched did, which is cool. But they still have commercials. And the commercials aren't even like Netflix commercials. They're like actual commercials like that you would have on cable TV. So that doesn't even feel different. And maybe they're going to get there. And if they do, then I'll take that back. But I just feel like right now it's just, I know everyone's so stoked. I just don't, it doesn't feel any different to me.
No, I agree. I've been thinking this for a while, and I don't feel like Max and AEW are any different. I don't feel like Netflix and Raw are any different. It's just, the thing I don't like is, and no disrespect to our friends in across the pond or overseas, but Triple H came out and said they're not going to have ads on their episodes of Monday Night Raw. But only us in the U.S. or in North America get ads on Monday Night Raw. So they get their Raw commercial free, where we have to have ads, and that's fine, whatever, that's cool. But the thing is we miss stuff. Miss a whole segment of Karrion Kross and The Miz on Monday Night Raw last week, setting up stuff. We missed the whole New Day segment last week, where they were going after Kendrick Lamar, because there was commercials and we had to watch the commercials. So that's the thing I don't like about it. And these episodes just don't feel special. I mean, there's not, other than the first one where they had The Rock. I mean, like you said, it just feels the same as it did on USA with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely need to step it up. And maybe they will. Maybe they have plans and they're getting there. But they did have like a year and a half when they announced Netflix was coming. So you would think they would have been prepared. But yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you. That was an unpopular opinions. Hopefully you guys agreed, as you should, because like I said, two dudes are 100% right 100% of the time. Let's get into it. It's our weekly segment. It's our LVD and MVD, where we announce our least valuable dude and dudette and our most valuable dude or dudette of the week. This does not mean we hate them. It just means they were booked poorly this week in professional wrestling of WWE. Always with Ryan. Who is your least valuable dude or dudette or dudettes?
It's Finn Balor, hands down. Finn Balor. As much as I love the guy and I want him to get out of this funk that he's in, Finn Balor is the LVD. I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing to him. But I mean, you talk like we talked about. You said this before about Judgment Day and how all they do is talk the talk, and then they go out there and wrestle and they can't walk the walk. They can't fight, and they lose. I mean, like you talk about that's Finn Balor's WWE career. They didn't give Damian Priest. They showed Damian Priest walking in. They didn't interview Damian Priest. They don't do backstage segments with Damian Priest. They show Finn Balor talking and going after Dominic Mysterio and telling him you might want to go help Liv Morgan put her stuff in the car or go get her bags from the car. And then he tells JD, go get in Adam Pearce's face and tell him that we need the tag team titles back and all this. And then he goes out there and just loses the way that he lost to Damian Priest. It's been the story of his career. He cannot win matches, and I don't get it. So, in my opinion, Finn Balor is LVD of the week.
Yeah, good pick. And it's funny too because he was booked properly in Triple H's NXT. I mean, that was
that's what I don't understand.
He was like one of the best champions of all time. I'm gonna go a different route. I like your pick, and maybe it should have been my pick, but I'm gonna go Cody Rhodes. And here's why. Because Cody Rhodes cannot get away from the bloodline. He is literally teaming now with Jimmy Uso. Like this dude is like in the 2 years that he's been here, minus Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar for very quick, brief appearances, he has done nothing but been involved with the bloodline, and the bloodline has carried him. And even now, he's an afterthought. And he paired up with Jimmy Uso, the weakest of the Usos. Props to you though, Jimmy. I still love you. But just in booking wise, he just isn't. He's with Paul Heyman and having Paul Heyman kiss his ass. Like there is nothing going on right now with Cody Rhodes to where it's Cody Rhodes. Nothing. Kevin Owens is carrying this feud. He has to get help from Paul Heyman and Jimmy Uso and pair up and team. Like he just cannot be his own man or B, book himself properly. And I just think he has to be the least valuable because as a champion, I cannot think of a champion in the past, I don't know how long, I'm even trying to think right now, to where they weren't carrying themselves. Roman Reigns carried himself. He didn't need people. He feuded with whoever and made them a star. Brock Lesnar made everybody, even Priest wasn't being carried by anybody else.
No.
Gunther has not been carried. He carried, yes. Gunther he'll feud with anybody. Anyone he wrestles, he's making Jay, who's the biggest star, probably a star right now. I mean, he carries them, and it's just Cody cannot do it. And once again, I know I'm harping on Cody, and I love Cody. It's not again. That's why I am so bothered by it because he's better than this, and they just have given him the John Cena treatment. And that was John Cena. John Cena was the same way. And I know everyone's going to crap on me. No, he wasn't. Greatest champion ever. Go back and watch his reigns. He was carried or he was buried. Yeah. There was never a time where Cena was that dude. It just is what it is, man. And it's just sad. It's a sad treatment, especially by someone like Triple H, who wasn't that person when he was in the game. So it's no pun intended. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes is a good pick. I mean, the thing I don't like about Cody right now is he will not explain himself. Kevin Owens keeps saying, "Why you're chumming it up with The Rock." If that did make things worse than you teaming with Roman Reigns, you're here. You are kissing Paul Heyman's ass, you're kissing The Rock's ass, and instead of being like, you know what, Kevin, like, let's have a conversation about this. He's just, I'm gonna go beat him up. I'm gonna go fight into the crowd. And that's not an explanation. And he even said, like, if I see Kevin Owens, I'm going to drop him on site, or anyone who looks like Kevin Owens, I'm going to drop him on site.
Anyone who looks like him, yeah.
Just freaking explain yourself. Like, why are you partnering? Why are you chumming it up with The Rock? Like, what? And that would give us, the fans, an advancement in that story as well. So I feel like they're kind of stuck in neutral with Cody Rhodes at the moment.
Yeah, I fully agree. Well said. All right. Positives. Who's your most valuable? Let's go.
I gotta go Lyra Valkyria, winning the Women's Intercontinental Champion, the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. As much as I wanted Dakota Kai to win, I think WWE, I think they were in a win-win situation, either having Dakota Kai win or Valkyria win. They clearly see a bright future ahead for Valkyria. I'm excited for her. I think she can have a lot of great matches. So yeah, I think she's the right first pick. Her or Dakota Kai, you couldn't have gone wrong with whoever you chose. I still would have picked Dakota Kai, but again, Lyra Valkyria is a great first Women's Intercontinental Champion, and I'm excited to see what she does with the belt going forward. So she's my MVD of the week.
Well said. Well said. Good pick too. I'm going to go with the surprise here, and someone we didn't talk about, and that's one CM Punk. This guy rolls up in a truck open up Raw. You can't even see him. I couldn't see him. And that crowd is chanting CM Punk. This guy went to AEW and was misused, got mistreated. The fans got into him, but then stopped after a while and turned on him. These WWE fans, man, chanted his name the entire 75 years he was gone. And ever since he has come back, this man is the biggest star in W. It's not even close. It's not even close. He could do no wrong in WWE. This man is the most over, straight pulling up in a car and walking to the ring. He's making you hate Seth Rollins. If he feuds against Roman, they're going to boo Roman. If he feuds against, they love CM Punk. And you think like his olden day, he's like a different character now too. He's not exactly the same guy. And they still love him. It's why I have him winning the Royal Rumble. It's why I have him. But I mean, he's just like, can't deny it, man. This guy can do no wrong, and he gets the biggest and maybe it's just fun to chant CM Punk. I don't know, but either way, this dude is just one of a kind, man. I
agree. I think he is doing fantastic things, and the crowd loves him. And you're right with everything. The only thing I didn't like was his promo, and his promo where he says, "I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble." You announced that last week. So he didn't really say anything different. That was the only thing I didn't like. Was I thought his promo after the beating Seth Rollins last week, where he's like, age 46 is just a number. You know what else is just a number, 1 through 30. I thought that was a better promo than, hey guys, I beat Seth Rollins and I'm entering the Royal Rumble this week. LOL. And then here comes Seth, and here comes Drew, and here comes everybody else.
Yeah.
So I agree. I love everything CM Punk's doing. He is super over. The crowd loves him. And he is, no matter what he does, I mean, he was wrong in everything that he's doing, but the way he walked out, and Seth is right with everything he's saying, and his feelings about Punk. But yeah, they're booing Seth Rollins, they're cheering CM Punk. It's a great pick. I just didn't like his promo this week.
Agreed. All right. Well said. I still my most valuable only because he's so damn. He did nothing this week. He got the bit. He's getting bigger chance than John Cena, and it's his Fell World Tour. This guy is so over. All right, man. That's it. That's our WWE week edition of Two Dudes with Attitudes Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us and watching. Like I said, don't forget to comment and follow and like. And if you're trying to check me out, you can find me on TikTok. It ain't going anywhere. Stop y'all's crying. You can Instagram, YouTube. I'm posting on everything now to try to get myself bigger just for the fun of it. And you can catch me at my_wrestling_opinion on everything. And with me, as always, is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. I'm on all the social medias, so go find me there. Go hit us up on TikTok and YouTube. We're at Two Dudes with Attitudes on TikTok. Go hit us up on YouTube. Subscribe. We're getting a lot more views now. We're getting a lot more We're getting some comments. We're starting to get some likes. So keep the numbers going. Let's help us grow. We're over 1,300. So let's get to 1,500 by Mania. I think we can make that happen. So keep subscribing. And then if you're listening to us on audio, go leave us a 5-star rating and review, and tell everyone about your favorite 2 dudes that you met on the internet, and that let's share in this wrestling journey together, because this is going to be our year.
I agree. Wolfpack, we out.
Dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. With Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.